Hello, everyone. Hello, Jim. How are you?
Hi, I'm great. How are you?
I am wonderful. I see you are, well, we can't really see 100% there, but you're wearing your red,
Yes, I am.
holiday red. Couple of days till break, which I know is
Yes.
much needed. I have my little Smiling's my favorite shirt on because smiling is my favorite. Um, so we're glad you're back with us and to discuss chapters 6 to 11 for the energy bus, or maybe some of you are just catching up for, time's sake or having some extra time over the holiday season to get caught up. But Jim, let's talk. We always talk about, what you did this past week to get overbooked or to get less overbooked. So what did you do?
That's a good question.
I know I haven't had time to think about this.
What did I do to feel less overbooked? Well, as far as work-wise, I think I definitely have been doing more this past week because I'm trying to get myself ready so that I can become so much more less like overbooked over the holidays. Can I say that?
Yeah.
Okay.
100%.
Okay. So trying to catch up, get ahead a little bit, but at the same time, what did I do to feel less overbooked? So in between that, we had a major snowstorm last week.
Jim, hold on. I was just thinking some of our followers and listeners don't really maybe get to see snow. So, I mean,
That is
I guess we
true.
still have some. I guess I can put it out my window a little bit. Can you see it?
Yes, I
There we
can see it.
go.
I can
There
see
we
it.
go. For those of you that don't know what snow looks like or have never experienced snow, we had about 2 feet.
Perfect.
Continue, Jim. Sorry. Figure we'd share with our listeners.
No, that's great. Actually, I was going to show a photo.
Oh, yes. Let's see it.
Alrighty. So I'm thinking, so Becky, you did see this picture that I shared last week of what it looked like with the deep snow with the beautiful sunrise.
That's right.
So that was last week. And then I also shared with Becky that I did find my joy, but it was kind of really covered up that morning. So just trying to find my joy here. So that was after like 26, 27 inches of snow. So joy was still there. Do you know what I mean? So based on our book, of course. So, but of course I was outside doing a little bit of shoveling, snow blowing, kind of just enjoying that snow, playing in the snow over the weekend. Definitely found some time to become less overbooked and spend some time with my stepsons and my wife in the snow, trying to play a little bit of tackle football.
That's nice.
Yes, however, my stepsons, since they are teenagers, decided to be a little, how should I say it, conspiracy and try to just gang up on Mr. Jim here and try to tackle him down in the snow so that I was face front into the snow. But it was fun. I enjoyed it, and I tried to kind of repay the favor there. So the good news about this weekend too, to feel less overbooked, was I found Olive Joy again.
There you go. Perfect.
Yes. So
Perfect. And I believe, weren't you on John Gordon's webinar as well?
Yes, I was. That was on Sunday night.
That's nice.
John Gordon. So of course he is the author of our Energy Bus. If you check out John Gordon, he has several other books as well that he has written and shared. And I'm not going to go into detail with the one that I watched on Sunday night, but he shared a free webinar. So if you check out his Twitter, check Google, he shares, it's on YouTube as well. He did a free webinar series on his new book called The Garden. So it looks a little something like this right here. So he had that book last year, pre-pandemic. And so a lot of the topics he talked about, not knowing that we were going to be under a pandemic for 2020 with COVID. So there's a lot of great strategies in here that if you ever wanted to check out another book for the future, you can check out this one. But I watched his webinar, I got a lot from it, and it helped to fire me up even more, become more energized and get ready for the holidays. And of course, by working with Bex here, I'm always energized, so I can't thank you enough. So
awesome.
So what'd you do to feel less overbooked?
Well, I'm
Not
not
all
gonna lie.
about.
I did a lot of sleeping in the snow, not in the snow, but on the snow day. I
Okay.
enjoy snow a lot. And I did some crafting. Now, obviously they're all wrapped, but I did some crafting. I made some coasters with positive quotes on them. And I actually read a whole book, which I haven't sat down because I've been really stuck in the Netflix, as all of our listeners know. And so I turned off the TV and I read. So that was nice. And I don't know, obviously, I think most people are aware, but the winter solstice happened and I really enjoy the winter and summer solstice.
Yes.
And but I never really like thought about the meaning behind the winter solstice. And so many people dislike winter. It's actually turned into one of my favorites. But I saw a quote, about what the true meaning of the winter solstice is. And if I can find it fast enough, I think it's really important for us to think about, you know, what the meaning behind it truly is. And so up here it is, found it. Basically, I'm going to read this and it's from, Facebook. One of my friends shared it, but the winter solstice marks the longest night of the year. It's a turning point signifying the rebirth of the sun and the return of light. It is from darkness that inspiration, strength, and life eventually emerge. It is in darkness
Wow.
that our inner light is lit. Let go of what is not needed anymore. Celebrate the power of faith that your dreams and affirmations will come into manifestation. On this day, make a conscious effort to increase the amount of light, positive thoughts, and love in and around you. I think that's a really good quote. And to keep in mind that this time when, yes, winter might seem like the darkest of days, it's really important to take the time to relight yourself, basically, if that
Yes.
makes sense. So I've really been trying to think about that. So yeah, so let's dive into the book, Jim. What stuck out for you in chapters 6 to 11?
6 to 11. Well, right away, I was thinking about as far as we're getting established with the rules here. So number one, of course, you're the driver of your own bus. I mentioned that last week, but just diving into a little bit more about rule number one. And they had a little quote here on page 27. And I thought it was interesting because it says, for number one, you are the driver of your own bus. Okay. So, and what that means is, as far as taking our life actions, how we move forward, we drive our own bus.
Mhm.
Events that come our way, whatever happens to us, it's like, how can we take it in? Maybe continue, like, are we able to move forward? So this is where we have that opportunity. So that's why, like, let's say if we have our own car, we're given the keys, we start up the engine, we go where we want to go. So we're the driver of our own bus. And it was interesting that in page 27, it says more people die Monday morning at 9 a.m. than any other time. And at first I thought to myself, 9 a.m. on a Monday morning? Like, do they have like a data for this? And then I started that, wait a minute, Monday morning at 9 o'clock. What time is that exactly? What do most people have in common at that time? And the answer is, if you take a moment to think about it, is most people work 9 to 5. So Monday morning, if you're working a Monday to Friday job from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., when it says that they die, okay, physically, are they actually dying or no? What it is that my take on it was, oh, I got to go to work. Oh, it's Monday. Oh, Mondays drag. They stink. I am at work. Oh my God, how am I going to get through it? Oh my, you know what I mean? And I think that's where the people are dying. You know what I mean? So it's like, because they are not fired and like they're not fueled as far as their role, as far as what they are doing. Do you know what I mean? Like what they enjoy doing. So that was my take on it for that chapter itself. And just moving along a little bit, talking about those three sections, those three questions. Bex, can I say those three questions?
Well, yeah, before you get to that though, I want to touch base on that because I don't laugh about people dying, obviously, but I chuckle because when you first said that, when I first read that, I was like, people are dying? Like that's the most, like I thought physically dying. And then when you and I talked about it, this is me being like, I'm not blonde, but sort of being naive about it. It is the emotional, like we're dying emotionally, kind of thinking like that. And when I work with students, I always say, you want to find, and this goes back to our find the why, you want to
Yep.
find something that you're doing every day that you're passionate about and that you love. But disclaimer, you don't love every single day. Like you and I just
No.
talked about this. We're not positive every single day. We try to be the light, we try to be positive, but it's inevitable. Like, so while yes, there are some days where you wake up and you go to work and you're like, you want to find a place that has that happy balance. But yeah, I couldn't agree more with you.
Yes.
And it's sort of sad that it's that way. But
Yeah.
sorry, go ahead. Now you can continue with your 3 questions. I just wanted to add that in.
No, that was a great thought, Becky. I appreciate you saying that because, like I said, it's like, and I think it's our job and our role as far as like, we make it how we want to make it. So it's like, and if that's the case, what can we do to change it?
Right.
So, I mean,
And own up to it. There's
absolutely,
times where I'm
absolutely.
driving and I don't want to admit that I made that mistake, but part of the growing and the growth happens when you admit it.
Yes,
I
yes.
was exhausted the other day. I don't want to admit to my mom that she's right, but I probably should have not overexert myself. And so, those kinds of things.
Yeah. And like I said, I was thinking even just of another quote, like it's okay not to be okay. Like we're always very positive, but who is always ever like positive all the time? So like I was just thinking this morning. So for example, this morning, I just had a few moments this morning where I don't know what it was, just something with the holidays and something, but I wasn't feeling so energetic. I wasn't feeling so happy. I was actually feeling a little down this morning.
Mhm.
I looked at, and I just felt very down. And at that moment, I looked down and there was my Jet, my 2-year-old Jet, sitting right by my feet, just looking at me. And I looked at him and he just looks up at me like, Daddy, I'm here for you. And I just looked at myself and I'm like, you know what? It's okay not to be okay at this moment.
Yeah.
I acknowledged it. I owned it. And you know what? He looked at me. He knows. He knows. I looked down. I petted him. What did he do? He rolled over for a belly rub. I give him a belly rub. And of course, I start laughing every time he does that. He does it on purpose. So at the same time, I start laughing. And it's like, I just found I just felt feeling great again. And I can move on from that moment to the next. So it's like just to remember that it's okay. So
And I think that rings so true for educators too, because I remember when I was in the classroom and we often talk about, you have to put your game face on. You can't show your emotions and you can't be vulnerable. Like if you're having a bad day, you got to leave it at the door so you can teach your kids. But I
yes,
do believe that there are times as a teacher, as an educator, that you can say, you know what, guys, like this is just, it's not the day. And this is what I'm dealing with. I think it's okay to be true to your kids because
yes,
they're humans too and they understand. And sometimes I found in my classroom, they were the ones that lifted me up sometimes. And it's a two-way street. And I think it goes back to that building relationships with them, but it's okay
yes.
for you right now. And we're both telling you this to give yourself permission to say, I'm not okay. And, but I'm going to use this time to reboot,
Mm-hmm.
choose the energy I want.
Yep.
So
I found myself the same way at times, like, especially like you said, you had a good point, especially once you establish that relationship with your students, that positive relationship, because then I honestly, most students will see right through you. Like if you're having a day, they're going to see right through you. Like they're going to know it. So like just to say, hey, you know what, today I'm just not feeling myself. There's just a lot going on today. So I may not be myself. I just want to let you know. So I'm kind of just feeling a little like down today or just something like that. You know what I mean? And like you said, most of the students right away be like, hey, it's okay. I'm here for you. It's okay. Are you okay? Or pre-COVID, they say, can I give you a hug or can I give you a handshake or, you know what I mean? Like just something they always say something to something kind or nice, you know what I mean? And it's like you're there for each other. So just like what we do for our students and for our teachers and for each other every day, we lift and support and lift each other up. So I just think it's great. We can all do that for each other. So that was my take on chapter 7, let's say. So
awesome.
what did you have?
So for me, always when I read this book, I really enjoy the formula, the E plus P equals O. And I think that's super
Yes.
important. And I know I've talked before on these calls and chats about, your vision wall. And so on my vision wall, I had that formula E plus P equals O. The idea of that the E, the events, plus the perception equals the outcome. And the idea John Gordon's getting behind here is that, you know, you can't control the events. We can't control COVID. I can't control that my washer breaks. I can't control that my dog goes to the bathroom on the floor. Well, maybe I could, but you know, I don't know. I'm thinking about all those like things where, you know, the flat tire that happened at the beginning. We can't control those.
Yes.
But what we can control is our perception of how it happens. And then that dictates the outcome. And I always think about that. It's that, it's the other quote, and I can't think of it off the top of my head right now, but about like how you can control how you react to what happens. And when I work with instructional coaches, you know, we talk about this a lot. There's an event that happens, but how do you react? That's what's going to control the outcome. And it's the same thing of like, you know, you and I talked yesterday last week, when we took a walk after our session, because
Yes.
we needed to change our scenery. We talked about, you know, do things happen for a reason? And when I was listening to Rachel Hollis's talk one day, she's like, I don't really believe about, you know, things happening for a reason. It's just things happen with meaning. And so thinking about what is the meaning of things happening. And so that always sticks out to me, because I always now try to, when an event happens to me, I try to stop, think about how I'm going to perceive it and how I'm going to react. So
I think that's a great perception, Becky. Like I said, we did go for that walk last week. We kind of said something, I think, in our video last week. Hey, I think we're going to take a walk today. You know what?
we did do it.
And it was cold outside and it was windy. So like I wear my hat, the scarf, the gloves. You know what? We probably took like that 15-minute brisk walk. Helped me to feel more energized for the end of the day. So, but what we did was we took that time for us. Do you know what I mean? Like just taking that time, and it's like it helped bring up my energy again. So it's like for you, like taking those moments, like take those 5 minutes, take the 10, 15 minutes, whatever you need to do to just to like kind of like refuel your tank, or, you know, just give yourself that little bit of a recharge, let's say. So, but otherwise, that's what I got out of like chapter 7. You got out of the M for chapter 8.
Yep.
So, and
yeah. And I mean, even just how you say it right now, I think everyone needs to keep in mind that you have this break. This is an event happening. Hopefully you see it as a break a little bit. What you do with it, how you perceive it, you know, you can recharge, take this time, depending on how your districts are sort of viewing it, but take this time to really reset. It's okay to close everything down. It really is. I'm considering it myself, and even my phone. So, yeah, we wish you all a really safe, happy, healthy. We're taking next Tuesday off.
Yes, we are.
So we'll be back January 5th.
Yes, January 5th. That's a Tuesday. So we will be back that day. We will continue on with the next several chapters, the next several rules. And again, then we will be into 2021.
I can't believe it. It's crazy.
I know.
Well, Jim, have a great holiday. And
you as well, Becky, and all of you.
Yes. Thank you.
Have a wonderful holiday. Happy New Year. See you soon.